come give me the fire, me burn them and done them. Come give me the water, me wash them and cleanse them. Come give me the herb, make me go like it and heal them. Come give me the, yo, them conscience, wrap round them neck like a rope and it a end them. When you come here, so free from them, boy. Wrap round them neck like a rope and it a end them. I give me the fire, make me burn them.
Now welcome back to episode 2 of Give Me the Fire podcast, hosted by myself, Cedar. Now it's nice to have you guys back in the building. You know, this is a brand new podcast, so please support us. You know, please listen to the podcast. It's every Wednesday. It'll be uploaded from 7 in the evening. So yeah, please support it. Tell your friends about us. You know, because we're spitting realness on this show. You know what I mean? It's no trying to look good on here and things like that. It's just kicking reels, yeah? So, now the first thing I want to talk about on Give Me the Fire podcast is, as a comedian myself, yeah, that I know about the game, innit? I know about other comedians and I know about the game. Now, if you're not a comedian, you might see comedians and think, oh yeah, you know what? Comedians are always like laughing, innit? Always smiling, always happy. Like, is there beef inside a comedy? Like, you might ask yourself these questions, innit? Do comedians beef? Now, let me tell you something. Of course we beef. We beef like a motherfucker, okay? That is the truth. We beef more than rappers, yeah? More than drill rappers. I'm telling you. Because that's just how it is, isn't it? In any kind of comedy is like a sport, innit? It's a competition, yeah. And in any competition, you're gonna get obviously people competing against each other, innit? Yeah. Some of it might be friendly competition between people, you know, because they're friends, and then some of it is straight competition, innit? Like they're not friends, innit? Like, and that's just how it is, you know. Because like I said, it's a sport. So yeah, we're playing the game. Yeah, and you know, there's competition, and there's definitely competition, there's definitely arguments, there's definitely fights, and there's definitely beef inside a comedy. Yeah, and I just want to touch on something that I saw a little while ago. Like, I remember, I don't know how many of you guys remember this out there, but I remember when Jamie Foxx and this other comedian called Doug Williams, I don't know if you guys can remember Doug Williams. Yeah, well, basically they was on a Shaquille O'Neal roast. I don't know how many of you guys saw this. And it was Doug Williams' turn to roast Shaquille O'Neal, because it was a Shaquille O'Neal roast, yeah? So, Doug Williams gets up to roast Shaquille O'Neal, and Jamie Foxx and Monique, and I'm telling you, there's a whole load of top A-list celebrities there, yeah? Like comedians. There on the night, as you can imagine, it's Shaquille O'Neal's night, so it brought a lot of different like faces, and black comedians and white comedians and just comedians, okay, and entertainers. So Doug is up there, yeah, and he's been in things, isn't it? He's been in things, but he's not as big as Jamie Foxx and a lot of the people that are around the table. But he's not small. He's been in movies and done things, and he's like a little bit of a veteran who didn't really make it to the big time. So, whatever you call that. Anyway, it's his turn now. Doug Williams' turn to roast Shaquille O'Neal. So he gets up, and instead of like roasting Shaquille O'Neal, he starts roasting like Jamie Foxx and other people. Like, which is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to roast whoever you want to roast. You know what I mean? Yeah? But he wasn't prepared, and that's what he said after the roast, that he wasn't prepared in it. Yeah, so he starts roasting Jamie Foxx and a couple other people around the table. And basically what happened is Jamie Foxx ended up roasting him back. And Jamie Foxx's roast is basically, the roast that Jamie Foxx was doing back to him, basically wouldn't end his career, but it definitely flatlined his career, put it that way. It didn't help the man, you know. But I think where Doug Williams went wrong is he didn't focus on Shaquille O'Neal in it. Yeah, he started focusing on the wrong thing to do, yeah, when you're doing things, yeah, in this life, is watch somebody else's money. You get what I'm saying? And I think that's where Doug Williams went wrong. He started talking about these people's money and their movie careers, and you're talking about their money, okay? You don't talk about somebody's money, yeah? Because people take their money personally. They do. They take their money personally. You start talking about someone's bank account, they can get offended by that quite easily. And I think that's what happened, man. That's where Doug went wrong for me. He started talking about Jamie Foxx's money. So I thought Jamie was like, hang on a minute, you're watching my money? Like, you know, unless you want to take my money or you want to kill me for my money, you know, like, why are you watching my money? Let me get this guy, innit? You know what I mean? Because he was talking about Jamie Foxx's movies and that, you know, saying that he doesn't do a good job in his movies or whatever. That's fair enough. But when you're talking about somebody's money, okay, make sure your money's longer than theirs, or it's of the same, you know, you're of the same kind of ilk as them. And I'm sorry, Doug, you're not on Jamie Foxx's level, you know. And plus, Jamie said that this man was saying that he was better than him at comedy, and that he heard that he said Doug Williams was better than him. Yeah, he heard that. So which is fine, because if you're a comedian, you're supposed to say that you're better than people. You're supposed to feel like you can do better than the next comedian, isn't it? If you don't feel like that, it's because you're some dick sucking motherfucker, okay? Yeah, you're supposed to always put yourself up. You know what I mean? Yeah? So Jamie wouldn't have a problem with that. It's the money watching Jamie had a problem with. You get what I'm saying? Because I was watching it and I'm trying to figure out, is Jamie do that on is Jamie the bad guy here, or did Doug Williams bring it on himself? You know, and it's a little bit of both. It's a little bit of both, you know, but I'd say that Doug brought it on himself because Jamie didn't start that. You know what I mean? Jamie Foxx told him to do his set. Yeah, and he wasn't doing his set because the aim of the night was to roast Shaquille O'Neal, and he wasn't doing that. You know, so therefore, for me, he brought it on himself. But I've watched Doug Williams' responses to that night after, and he's fine with it. He's fine with it, man. I rate Doug Williams, and he's actually went on to have quite a successful career after that night. You know, so yeah. Shouts out to both men. You know what I mean? Shouts out to Jamie Foxx. You know, he was one of my favourite comedians. He's gonna be in like one of my next documentaries that I do. My next comedy documentaries that I do, man, because yeah, he's a triple threat, Jamie Foxx, you know. And shouts out to Jamie Foxx, man. Can we get a clap for Jamie Foxx? Yeah, man, that's my guy. That's my guy. Now, moving on. The next topic I want to talk about. I want to talk about racism inside of football. Yeah, you know, like racism inside of football is rife at the moment. You know, it's always been there. It's always been there, you know, because it's not just inside of football. It exists in everyday life in general. And football is a part of everyday life, you know. And I don't know, man. It's obviously it's not every white person who is doing this racism stuff. You know, it's not. It's just a few idiots, man. You know what I mean? It's just a good few idiots doing it. You get me? And they're coming to these games and they're shouting abuse to the black man. Why? Why? Because the black man's got more money than you? Is that what it is? Or is, you know, does the goat like to see a black man with money, you know, a black man on top, you know, living well, doing well, you know, can provide for his family and things like that. You know what I mean? They don't want to see that. They don't want to see a black man on top, and that's what it's about. It's about the man, his colour and his money, you know. And I just think, well, these people are so idiotic who come and do these things, you know, at these football games, man. For me, I don't feel like football is doing enough. The FIFA boys who run the whole thing are not doing enough to try and stamp it out. They're not. You know what I mean? They're not doing enough to try and stamp it out, man. Like more associations need to be set up, and they need to be ran by black people. Okay, I said it. Real talk. They do, because a lot of these associations that are set up to stamp out racism, unfortunately, they're run by white people, and it shouldn't be that, innit? Because white people don't know what it's like to take abuse, innit? To take racist abuse from another white person. You get what I'm saying? Like, you don't know what it's like to be black and get abused by a white person or a person of a different colour. as a black person, innit? So why are you heading something that you ain't got no knowledge on? You get what I mean? It's like, for me, it's like when you got these people that they grew up well and they come from two-parent homes and they don't really understand about the streets and the roads and things like that. Working inside a social care, bringing up kids that are from the street and the road who ain't got any parents. They can't relate to this kid because of the way they grew up. But you've got these people in charge of these rugged street kids. You know what I mean? And they just come from two completely different worlds. You know, and it's like, that's all my point is with the people that run these stamping out racism organizations. Now they come from two completely different worlds. You can't understand racism, but you're heading this racism organization. This is why it don't work. This is why it don't work. You understand what I'm saying to you? This is why it doesn't work, man. Right? We need black people heading these things. Yeah, and really being allowed to be in charge, because there's a couple black faces involved, but they're not heading anything. They're just there as a face. They put him in front of the camera. Yeah. And make everybody think that he's in charge and he's calling the shots, but he's not. There's a white man behind him doing it. You get what I'm saying? So what I'm trying to say is, man, we've got to rascal wake up, man, as black people as well, because we've got all these ex-professional footballers and, you know, entertainers complaining about racism when they've got enough money to come together and start their own organisation. Yeah? And try and stamp out one or two things. Alright, you're putting your career on the line and you're doing this and you're doing that. But at the end of the day, yeah, trust me, don't sit there and complain about it, innit? You get me? Because you've got people like me, everyday people like me, that have to go to work. You know what I mean? And take subliminal racism at work, because it happens outside of the entertainment business. So obviously now, I've got to go and take, apologies for the noise there, you know what I mean? Right, I've got to go and take, subliminal racism at work as an everyday man, you know, who hasn't got the kind of money that these celebrities that are sitting down there complaining, man, about it. Do you know what I mean? Try and come together, man, and sort something out yourself as black men and black women, and stop complaining to the white guys who don't even understand nothing to do with it. Okay? Stop complaining to them and start your own organisation. Right? And that's what I'd say. That's what I'd say to that. You know what I mean? Right. The next topic that I want to talk about is UK drill rappers who dry snitch on themselves and end up going to prison. Yeah? Through evidence that is found in their tracks. Yeah? Because that's what the police do. They take these rappers' music videos and whatever they've said about things that they've done on the streets, yeah, they use that evidence now that they've used in their lyrics, and they incriminate them with the evidence from their lyrics. Yeah? And dry snitching means when you talk about your business, the crimes that you've done, and then that talk ends up backfiring on you, and you end up getting into trouble through your talk, not somebody else talking about you. You know, you talked on yourself. That's dry snitching, when you talk on yourself, basically. And that's what a lot of these artists are doing. You know what I mean? That's what they're doing. You know, and they're being allowed to do it by the police. They are, because they think that the police are not watching them. The police are watching you. You understand me? If you're somebody on the roads before you got into the music, and you was doing your ting on the roads before you got into the music, yeah, and you're trying to kind of, you know what I mean, go legit for your own reasons and whatnot, but you was on a bad man thing on the street, what, you think the police ain't watching you? Yeah, you think people ain't talking your business? Of course they are. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, and then you go into the music thing now with the same attitude that you had on the streets and feel like you're gonna last long. You ain't gonna last long, because you can't go into it's a music business. You understand me? You can't go into the business with a road mentality. You get me? It's not gonna work out. You understand me? And that's where they're going wrong. They're still keeping the road mentality. Because obviously when you're a rapper, yeah, you gotta prove, innit? You have to prove that you're this hard guy, innit? You know what I mean? You're this hard alpha male guy who still busted his gun, still sells a hell of a load of drugs, and you know what I mean? Still killing it on the streets. But you don't understand in the music business, man. You get me? You can't be killing it on the streets and be in the music business. You understand me? Because you don't understand that you're working with suits and ties, yeah? When you jump in the music business. Straight away, automatically now, you got suits and ties watching you. You understand me? And guess who them suits and ties work with? The police, 100%, because they're full legit. You understand me? Yeah? So you're going from illegit life to legit life. And you're keeping the illegit way about you. And it clashes, innit? Clashes. You get me? And unfortunately, you have to keep that kind of image. You know what I mean? If you're doing this drill rapping thing. If you're not doing this hip hop thing now, where you're rhyming and you're trying to make sense and you're coming with stories and you're trying to enlighten people and wake people up, and you know how hip hop is. Hip hop and rap are two different things, man. Because in hip hop, all you gotta prove in hip hop is that you're nice with them words. You can rhyme, innit? You get me? When you're doing rap, you have to prove that you're some big bad monster on the roads, and you know what I mean? You're crazy, and you're insane, and you bust your gun, and you're picking up the keys, and you're doing all of that inside of the music business. It's crazy, man. It's crazy, yo. You guys need to stop it, man, because you're talking a hell of a load of shit in your bars, yeah, and that shit hitting the fan, and guess what? It's blowing back in your direction. As soon as it hits the fan, it's blowing back in your face. You get me? Yeah, so be careful, man. When you're going in the music business, trust me, try and make sure you're serious, man, about what you're doing. Because if you're serious about the music, then you'll allow holding a certain attitude that you had on road, man. You get me? Because that's what's making you lot talk the way you're talking in your bars. You're not dropping that road attitude, man. You know? And you're not being sensible with it. You need to be more smart where you attack it. You know what I mean? And that's all I'd say. That's all I'd say. I'm not saying because if you're a big bad man on road, obviously that's who you are, innit? You get me? I'm not saying change your ways, no way. You know, what I am saying is stop talking your business in your bars. Stop talking your business. Because that's what's making you, man, go jail. You know? And that's it, man. Alright? So now, we've touched on racism. Touched on racism in football. Yeah. We've touched on competition inside a comedy. Yeah. Alright. And now we just touched on the UK drill rappers dry snitching on themselves. So yeah, there was one more thing that I want to touch on now to end the show. And yeah, the thing that I want to touch on next is black women in the entertainment business who don't receive enough credit for their work. Yeah? There's black women in the entertainment business who don't receive enough credit for their work. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, no, I've seen it, man. It's the media. It's the media. You know? What they do with these black women is they put all of their private business out in the public eye. Yeah, like their dating life and their financial state and you know, just all of their private life, you know what I mean? And then they don't give them any credit for their works, what they perform. And this is what I've noticed that they're doing to the black women. You know, like I've watched a couple of things and I've read a couple of things, and it's just all about their dating life. They're dating. You know, these black singers, you know, it's all about their dating and how many men they've had and who they've been with, and you know, it's like you're just portraying them as a slag, innit? Basically, that's what you're doing. That's what you're doing, and they need to stop it. They need to stop it, man. Yeah, and start giving them some recognition for their achievements and their accolades, what they've done in the game. You get what I'm saying? And stop watching their private life, man. You know what I mean? I know they're in the public eye, and yeah, their private life will come out because of that. But it seems to just be all about that when you're researching, man. Like I watched something on Ashanti the other day, and it was just all about her private life, how many men she slept with and that. And I just think to myself, oh, hang on a minute, is this the same Ashanti who's worked with Murder Inc. and Jaru and had a hella hits, man? Louder girl, innit? She's a fucking brilliant singer, by the way. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, I don't think she gets enough recognition for her singing ability and songs that she's gave to us. Yeah, some big tunes like Foolish and, you know, big songs, man, big songs. She inspired a lot of young girls to grab that mic and want to sing, black and white. You get what I'm saying to you? So can you get some recognition for that? Because it seems to me that what they're doing is they're digging up, they're looking for diamonds, but they're not really looking for diamonds, because when they dig up the dirt now, you know what I mean, and the diamond's right there, they're saying forget that, they're picking up the dirt, you know, and they're putting the dirt in their pocket, right? And they're trying to give that the dirt on the people. Not the diamond, the dirt. They need to stop. They need to stop. You get what I'm saying? Because it seems to be like it's only our black women they're doing it to. So I'm not saying when I didn't see nothing on anyone else. You understand me? Yeah, so stop doing it and give them the credit they deserve. Yeah? Because at the end of the day, they worked hard, man, for their shine. Yeah? So when you're doing your digging, can you try and dig up some diamonds and stop giving us dirt from them? I'm fed up with it, man. Fed up with it. You're not giving the women the credit they deserve, man. You know, so start doing that, man. Start doing that. You see me? Because right now, that's what I'm burning a fire on the media, man. You get what I'm saying? And the way they portray us black men and women. They need to stop portraying us in that way and start giving us the credit we fucking deserve. And that's it. Yeah? With these shows, we don't hold back here. Yeah? I don't bite my bottom lip. You know what I mean? I don't bite my tongue. Yeah? Hold back on this show. His name, Give Me the Fire. Yeah, and that's it. I'm holding back, man. Yo, my name's Cedar. Yeah, love to each and every one of you. Thank you for tuning into the show. And yeah, right now, you know what I mean, this is just the beginning stages. So if you heard a little bit of noise in the background and that, I'm sorry about that. I have to record in my house at the moment. So yeah, you know. Thank you for tuning in. This has been Give Me the Fire podcast, episode 2. I've been your host, Cedar. I'm out.
Sampling up. Let's come at you on. What of them? Huh? Yo, King of Fire. And it's sampling up. We're sampling love. Alright. It's a sampling. Pagan man said them get sampling. It's a sampling. The one that told the world to take the world and now it's sampling. It's a sampling. We know in them bad mind and them gambling. It's a sampling, no rumbling, alright then. Well, I'm going to kick up that door and gosh with the lockdown. Cause Babylon mentally trapped them. Send a message to the soldiers and the captain. When you see the innocent, you nobody shot them. See a little split deal, nobody lock them. See the decent people, don't harass them. Tell the petty people, stop up the shock them. Leave the people for them, laptop them. Suppose a bitch in them and pop up the watch them. Burn out the wolves them and burn out the fox them. Tell them don't come here to flank them. The leopard them now go change them, spot them. To the meters and get distracted. Real family is the number one slack them. When last you ever see a big shooting at the top 10, them a get out and we a go stop them. Promoters know the hardest them. I tell us send the flash them. But you say be careful, but I'm not fighting on the track.